This building will be a school. It is not located in a community. Like its location, its purpose and its design will be unique. Why would a school be built in such an isolated location? Why is it designed the way it is? This school is being built for Indian children. They will come from homes which are spread over a broad geographical region. Getting to and from school each day would be an impossibly long trip. This may call for the school to have boarding facilities and other special features.
My name is Nawakamig. It means in the center, the Anishinaabe language, also known as Dennis Banks. I was in a boarding school when I was 4 years old. I was taken away from my mother and my grandparents. I think the most important thing that I remember, and it's been with me all these years, is the fact that I was taken away from my parents. My mind has never let me alone one day without thinking about the loss of my mother and her relationship with me when that was disrupted. I've never allowed my mind to be at peace with the U.S. government because of how they ruined and how they destroyed that relationship. I was kept at the boarding school for 6 years and never allowed to go home. And I never received any letters from my mother. I was finally allowed to go home I didn't realize, between boarding schools. I was allowed to go home in August of 1949. And then I was home for not even a month, about 3 weeks, and I was told I had to go to another school, another boarding school. But when I got home, I tracked my mother down, and she was very, very, very glad to see me and happy. And I asked my mother one question of why didn't she write to me, and why didn't she try to come and see me? And she says, but I did, son. But I never saw any proof that she did do that. And it was the absence of any communication from her is what destroyed our relationship. And the people who were doing research on my life story, they went to where the federal records are kept at in Kansas City. And they were looking, they Googled for my name, and they found my name, and they found my records. And in there was a great number of letters, about 15 letters. And they were all from my mother. And most of them were for me. And some of them were for the director of that school, saying that she had heard that and she said, I heard my son Dennis has been sick, and I want to know, how he's doing. And then the other letter, there was another letter that she sent money. She sent money enough for the bus fare for me to get home. And the government never sent me. And they never ever told me. And then I went to another boarding school, and that boarding school was a lot different from the first one. The first one was filled with not only my own pain of being taken away from my parents, but also the fact that there were beatings that were happening at that school. There was a Pipestone Indian School in Pipestone, Minnesota, about 300 miles from my home. I ran away from that school 6 times, and each time that I was caught, I was beaten, and then I was sent through this. It was a discipline hotline, and much the way that like a military term for code red is of punishing your the people that you work with because they make a mistake. But only I was beaten, and kids were ordered to get a club or a strap, broomstick, anything, because and they would line up on both sides and just maybe 6 feet apart. And they would, whoever was going to run through it, they would tell them to drop their pants, take it off, until they were naked, and they were told to bend over, and then they would hit them with straps. And you try to duck them. You know, some are swinging you, so you stop, and then you try to dodge all the blows, but eventually you get beat by them. And then they ridicule you by making you wear a dress for a couple of days, and it was that kind of punishment. There was no medicine man allowed to come to that res from Leech Lake Reservation. There was absolute loneliness by everybody that was there, all the young kids. And every night there was crying. You could hear kids crying. Even my crying was amongst them. But I kept running away, and they kept beating. And I knew that somewhere out there was my home. I used to sit behind this one building, and every Saturday morning I'd go sit there, and I'd face that direction where my home was at. And I used to think of what was going on at my home. And then I went home from that school, and I was home for another 25 days. Then they took me to another school, which was further away than in South Dakota. So, but I hated that school. I hated all the schools. I ran away from Pipestone. I ran away from Wapton Indian School. And the last time I ran away from that boarding school in South Dakota, then I made it home. I made it all the way. Teachers were they were very mean at Pipestone, and they were always hitting the back of your hand with rulers. And then at Wapton, I noticed that there was a lot of perverted acts. One of the girl or the boy's advisor, his wife would also volunteer, but she would volunteer her only volunteer job was that she would come in. She would make sure all the kids were bathed and showered up, and she used to deliberately come down to where the 8th graders were, and she'd come and inspect make sure we were clean. And so we'd have to come out of the shower area, come and stand in front of her naked, and then she'd rub there and see if there was any dirt coming there, in the elbows, and then or on her knees. She would check for it, and then if there was any dirt, then she'd make us go back and clean some more. There was other perverted acts that were happening. I saw one, and this young boy was being abused by the assistant boys advisor. We want our voices. We'd raise our voice so that he'd know that people are watching him, and then he would stop it. But there was crying. The kids were just crying just hard and not wanting to tell us what happened. There was a lot of brutality like that. Any child that went through this terrible social experiment, terrible experiment of taking children, native children, and bringing them and putting them in these schools, and trying to make Christians, make us believe in Christianity, and making us forget the native ceremonies that we attended, make us forget the languages and the songs. I think any child that goes through that will forever be filled with trauma, as I have been. You know, there's no way that I can. My mother's gone, and when I got those letters, when I got copies of those letters back, you know, I felt very sad, and in many ways, all the thinking that I had about my mother was now gone. But one thing I couldn't do, I couldn't tell her that I was sorry for how I thought all those years. And to me, that's why the trauma, the feelings of being robbed and raped, emotionally robbed of a great heritage. Yes, all of the children that went to boarding schools, no matter if it was in Jim Thorpe's days or back in the 20s, in the young, you know, one of the most bravest people that I never met them, but they were Hopi fathers. There was 19 Hopi fathers who were taken to Alcatraz jail, prison, back in 1920s because they would not let their children be taken away to these boarding schools. And the government grabbed them and took them to Alcatraz, a prison, because the fathers wouldn't allow their children to be taken to those day schools. So I wish that my grandparents, maybe they didn't know what was going to go on, and for that, you know, I'm sure that's why they didn't stand up do something then. But I think that the behavior of a person, and the remembrance of what was taken away from them is still there with me, and I'm sure it's still with the people, thousands of children, tens of thousands who went to those boarding schools from Tuscarora, Mohawk Nation, the Ojibwe people, the Lakotas, all into Seattle in California. That there was a great trauma was inflicted upon us, and that was by taking the children by force away from the parents. I think that's, for the parents who are since gone, the trauma is now left with the children, with the people who are my age and older. I've sort of contained that aggression. I've kind of contained that emotional hatred, but I take it out in other ways. I just keep going forward, saying that the many things that this government has done has been very bad.